You're not always going to have people to cheer you on, so you need to be your biggest cheerleader, because if you don't have that foundation of believing in yourself, then other people aren't going to believe in you as well.
What's up, everybody? This is Fred Richani of the TSC Podcast. We have right here on the line not one, but two very special guests. They are the lead actors of the brand new Hulu series Utopia Falls, mixing a little bit of sci-fi with a whole lot of dance and hip-hop. We're talking to Robyn Alomar and Akiel Julien on the line today. Guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going
good,
with you?
Man. Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, I got a kick out of this show. I've been binging a few episodes that Hulu was kind enough to provide. I'm a huge hip-hop head myself. When you both got the scripts and you had a chance to audition, what jumped out at you first about this show?
I'll go first. I think what stood out for me is that I'm a major geek in general. With anything that's going to be sci-fi or fantasy, like, that's a goal for me. So I was super excited about that. But I think what really stood out to me was that when I was looking at who like the leads of the show were, is that they were both Black, and it was on a sci-fi like fantasy show. And I feel like we're not so much represented majorly in those genres of TV and film and literature. So that really stood out to me. I was really excited.
For me, it was really, honestly, it was the fact that my character was an MC, man. It was honestly the character that I was auditioning for was an MC, and I never really got to tap into that side of my artistry before. So to like do something that I've never really got the chance to tap into, was really interesting to me and intrigued me in that sense. And I've also never done anything sci-fi. So it was, to be honest, it was just really, everything was new. It was just really something new, and I knew it would have been like a really fun experience. So, yeah.
And it's pretty crazy because it involves a lot of hip-hop using current and past as well. But the show itself, in the saying, takes place, like 200-300 years into the future. So you guys stumble upon this archive, which is, of course, voiced by the great Snoop Dogg. And you just discover hip-hop like it's just like kind of like forbidden art. And I think there's kind of like a subliminal message there that says, man, life without hip-hop would be pretty boring.
Absolutely. I think that like hip-hop is all about speaking your truth and, talking about your story and your current circumstances. So I think, that type of expression is exactly why they don't want it. They don't want people to talk about what's going on in the world right now and what people are going through. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Did a little research on you, and it sounds like you're a pretty big anime fan. Is that correct?
Oh, I wouldn't say pretty big anime fan. I used to watch it a lot when I was younger, but like I watched like Inuyasha and watched like Yu-Gi-Oh, all those things. I don't know if you guys had like white TV at that time. Yeah, but I'm not a huge anime fan.
I am a huge anime fan, though.
Oh, perfect.
She's a huge fan. She's a huge anime fan. Yeah.
What did you grow up watching, Robyn?
For me, honestly, what got me in the beginning was same with Akiel. Inuyasha is what got me. Naruto was my life. Studio Ghibli, any of those films, I think I've rewatched all of them at least 7 times, and they never get old. So yeah, I'm pretty crazy like that. I love anime.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I love anime too. I grew up actually a humongous Dragon Ball fan and Tenchi Muyo fan from.
Yes, Akiel, that's Akiel. Yeah, Akiel the Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah, I'm all about that life. So when y'all got the script and you saw it, and with any kind of sci-fi series or anything or movie, there's always its own type of lore. There's always its own type of story. Obviously, knock on wood, you guys get renewed for season 2 and many seasons beyond that. They all essentially create their own universes. The director, the producers, and everything else, and the actors really need to be into it to sink their teeth into it. When you got the script, what jumped out at you based on your love or your past love, Akiel, for anime that said, all right, this is something I really want to dive into?
Honestly, it was Bodhi's story that really drew me to the project. Because he was just a kid who I can tell he struggled with self-identity. He struggled with self-identity. He didn't necessarily know where he really fit in their society. He always believed that there was something bigger than what he's been taught. So it was really. And it was mainly his desire to want to, find that thing, discover that thing that, that he's longing for. you know. So and through the use of hip hop, you know, he was able to, you know, find that self-identity. You know, he found something that he could identify with, and you know, with that, he kind of put the pieces together to, you know, speak his truth, right? Because that's what hip hop helped him do, is help him speak his truth. A lot of the things that he was thinking of, you know, or you know, he believed in, he didn't necessarily know how to articulate it, but with hip hop, the genre helped him to do so, you know. So yeah, that's what that was. Yeah.
With you two, you two are very young in showbiz, have been on the Canadian scene for a while, now transitioning not just on a show that's featured in Canada, but now in the States with Hulu, which is obviously a massive platform. What's been the biggest difference going from the Canadian TV and movie scene to Hollywood now?
Well, I think for me, this is like my first major project. So this is like my kind of anything. So this is, I think, the transition in general from just going, like having, you know, a larger role on a show and just being on like a bigger set and whatnot, was really, really crazy. It was really crazy, especially being on set. Like, we had this massive sound stage, and I feel like I've never been on something like that before, and that's what really kicked in for me, was that, wow, this is a big production. It's like, look at the set that we're on. This is crazy.
That's awesome. And when you two auditioned, I mean, of course, it's not just for saying your lines, it's also hitting the moves and the choreography as well. Was it a little more complicated than some other roles you guys have auditioned for in the past?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm a dancer first, right? So the choreography part of the process wasn't as daunting for me, but it was really the musical part of it. It was the fact that my character was an MC, and it's not something that I've done before. That was I'm more so on the scarier side of things. Also, I felt like I had a huge responsibility as well, you know, because the show talks a lot about the history of hip hop, and I didn't want to, knowing that Snoop Dogg's on the show as well, like I didn't want to, you know, do an injustice to the art form in that sense. So I felt like, but it motivated me, you know what I mean? It motivated, I think, yeah, so that's that.
And I think too, like watching the show, obviously it incorporates sci-fi and hip hop. It incorporates a lot of history, and incorporates Black history. There's a scene, I believe it was on episode 2, where you want to explore, or maybe episode 3, where you're exploring civil rights, and you said you want to learn more about it. And Snoop Dogg's narrating and talked about, you know, Dr. King and Malcolm X. It's very powerful when it hits, you know, very close to home, especially with Black History Month here in the States. So you talked about your responsibility in that lead role, but what do you feel like the show's overall responsibility is? Obviously, it means to entertain, but I also feel like watching a few episodes that is meant to be also kind of a history lesson.
Absolutely. I think that the show is meant to, you know, wake people up as well. I think it's meant to, you know, obviously expose and talk about diversity, but also talk about definitely other issues as well. You know, you can't have hip hop without having history and like knowing people's lives and truths and their struggles and what they've gone through. And like Black history is a huge part of hip hop and music in general. So I feel like to tell the most truthful story, that was our responsibility to include that. Like we had to add that truth to it.
For sure.
For it to be authentic.
Yeah, and I think you guys definitely did a great job with that based on what I've seen so far. And Robyn, props to you, because I was doing some research on you as well, and I looked up your background. This is your first major lead role. Congrats on that. And I had to really do some digging to find out, accidentally actually, that your stepfather is the famous Roberto Alomar, the Hall of Famer, Toronto Blue Jays legend. I give you huge props for being able to kind of keep that on the low key and really being known, you know, for your own success and your own projects. But I'm sure when you initially transitioned into acting and showbiz, it was kind of tough. Did he have any advice for you that he provided to say, hey, okay, be careful of these trappings of fame?
Yeah. I feel like he's been coaching me since I was a kid for this. He's always kind of treated, because he's like a majority, like that's his life. So I feel like everything he reverts back to that, right? So even when I was auditioning, he was always like, stay true to yourself. There's only plan A. If you get plan B, it distracts you from plan A. He's always like, stay on track. He was like a coach always. And so even with this, like when I booked this, his first thing was just stay true to yourself. You know who you are. Let yourself always speak from the heart and be kind to people. He kind of just let me know that. To be nice to people and everybody that you work with, he said always respect and be kind to everybody that you work with. He's like, it's extremely important to have that work ethic. So yeah, he's been coaching me.
Awesome. Hey, that's definitely some great advice. I can certainly attest to that in the TV and media industry. Now, you two are both based in Canada, right? Or were based in Canada for a while?
Yeah, I was raised. I was raised in Toronto, but now I'm located in LA. Okay.
How happy are you to see kind of like the renaissance of the Toronto Raptors?
That was amazing. That was amazing. The energy that you felt from the city. Like I was right. We were filming, and I was right downtown for that. Like my condo was right downtown, and just to feel that energy when they won, it was insane. You just needed to get outside, and I did. I was about to go to sleep. We were supposed to film, I think, at like 6 a.m. And I was like, I need to get out. I need to get outside. I need to enjoy this moment. It was a really proud moment.
Oh man, I was super pumped, man. It was insane. We were actually together on that day. When they won.
Yeah.
And it was. And definitely felt the energy. It's like it's incredible because I felt inspired. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, okay, this is Toronto. This is where I'm from. And it's like going on, moving forward, I have to, we have to do the city respect, just like, the Toronto Raptors have done. You know what I mean? I feel like we kind of have to live up to some sort of legacy that Toronto has now,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For sure. And I feel like, too, just as somebody that has Canadian relatives in Western Canada, one of my closest friends actually lives in Toronto, does film production there. It's like, it's nice to kind of see like Toronto and overall Canada being, put on the map in America, so to speak, as far as like mainstream with the Toronto Raptors. And obviously you got Drake. And I feel like it's kind of shifting now in terms of TV as well. You have Working Moms, which has been a big hit as well, which has transitioned well to America. And of course now you have Utopia Falls, which based in Canada, but now airing in the U.S. and Hulu. Do you kind of see that shift where Canadian TV is you're going to see more Canadian TV and Canadian TV stars transition and become more mainstream in the U.S.?
I would say definitely. I would say there's even some Canadian shows that are like more popular in the U.S. than they are in Canada, which is actually really cool to see. Like you'll see massive billboards for like The Expanse here, which is a Canadian sci-fi show. And Dark Matter was really big in the U.S. as well. It's really, I'm definitely seeing that shift.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great to see. It's been good. Vikings too, I should also give a shout out to. But yeah, all great shows, yours included, and definitely nice to see. Now, before we let you two go, we usually do some kind of rapid fire random questions just for fans to get to know you a little better. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite hobbies besides acting and dancing?
Playing video games.
Dang. I'd have to say between playing video games and listening to music. I'd say.
Oh, man, I love the playing with video games line. We also do cover gaming here. You got to tell me, what are you playing right now?
I'm still playing Skyrim, and I'm also playing The Witcher.
Oh, my God.
I'm doing it on Switch
right Mario Kart. That's awesome. I'm
Yes.
I think I love you both because I have a Switch, and I'll tell you, like, it's one thing to play like Skyrim or Witcher on PS4 or PC. It's another thing when you could take Skyrim and Witcher with you. I've put so many hours into Witcher and Skyrim. It's not even funny. I don't say I'm ashamed to say it. I'll just say I'll withhold the information. But both incredible games, and when you could take it anywhere, it's even better.
Yes, it's amazing. Yeah. Like on planes, especially. Like I'm just playing Skyrim on my plane. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying it's mad dangerous because you get so addicted. You know what I mean? Like now that you get to take it it's portable now. You know what I mean? I feel like that is like. At home, it's already so addictive, but you got to take it home, take it with you. It's like, it gets crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I still admire y'all's discipline. I mean, you managed to obviously stay in shape, and you look great on the show and hit all the moves, so it didn't affect you that much. It's a nice mental break. But I got to ask you, though, if you do, Robyn, you said Skyrim. Akiel, I don't know if you played it too. What are you? Did you take the straight and narrow path? Did you end up joining the Thieves Guild? You know, what path did you choose?
Oh, I do. So I've like played Skyrim. So I've done all the different paths. But my main character that I play on, she is Redguard. I always want my character to kind of look like me. So she's Redguard. I did the Thieves Guild, but my favorite one was is when you the DLC that they have, the vampire one, where you get to find like the sun bow and arrow. Have you done that?
I may have done that quest a while ago. Yeah, I think I stopped like after like 30 hours in. I was about to join the Thieves Guild, and I was like, you know what? I'll stay on the straight and narrow. I feel like I'm too Jon Snow for my own good sometimes, you know.
Oh, the Thieves Guild is the best though. Like that's actually one of the best storylines I would actually say in like the game. It's so much fun.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely have to check it out. And for anybody that hasn't played Skyrim and The Witcher, there's your free plugs for those games. Y'all should definitely check them out. What's your favorite cheat meals?
Akiel, you take this. You go.
My favorite cheat meal. What is my favorite cheat meal? I'll probably say Haagen-Dazs ice cream, peanut butter and chocolate. Haagen-Dazs. It's my favorite cheat meal. Snack.
That's good.
I like that.
I say pizza.
Oh yeah, pizza all the way.
Yeah.
What is your most awkward moment as an actor?
Oh my gosh, let me think. Oh my gosh, I know exactly, and it's happened on set. Akiel, you were there. Okay, my most awkward moment as an actor is when we were all in like a group scene together, like all of the main cast, and we're about to do this scene, and we actually start the scene, and I look over to Mickey, and I'm talking to him, and I say something serious. I think it's the first time that we see the archive. I'm like, oh, look at this. All of a sudden, my face does a full twitch on, like, the left side. Like, my face fully twitches, and I didn't think that he would notice, but then all of a sudden, he busts out laughing. He busts out laughing, and then I started laughing because I know exactly how messed up my face looked. Like, I know exactly how much it twitched, and I think that was one of the most awkward moments.
That's awesome. That was in the middle of the take two, right?
Yep. Yeah, we were filming.
When you were doing your coverage? Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Akiel, do you have one?
I ripped my pants on stage. That's pretty much in high school. And I kind of had to just like bear with it throughout the whole of my performance. And yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. And I wasn't wearing any underwear, so.
Oh.
That was the worst. That was the worst for me. So.
Oh, man.
I don't know if anybody noticed, but.
They definitely did.
I'm sure they did. Wow. As the old saying goes, times are rough. All right. What's your favorite spot in Canada? If I was traveling, say, to like Toronto or somewhere that's your favorite city, what's somewhere you would recommend a Canadian tourist?
I really like the Harbourfront in Toronto. Like I would say, as a tourist to go, I like the Harbourfront. In the summer, obviously, I used to live by there, so I think it's really, really pretty. It's right by the water, and there's like little bars there and stuff. So I'd say the Harbourfront. Yeah.
I'd say Center Island because you get to take the ferry boat across, and you know there's a lot of stuff on there. There's a beach, and there's a maze as well. It's like one of my favorite spots to go in the summertime, especially.
No shade being thrown here, but Canadians have been known to be very, very polite. L.A., New York, usually the opposite. Was there a bit of an adjustment period going from the politeness of Canadians to the brashness, for lack of a better term, of Los Angelinos?
You know what? I think in the beginning there was definitely. It's just a different vibe here. I would say it's a different vibe here. I definitely took some getting used to, but people recognize the politeness here, and I feel like it serves us well. So people are always like, "Wow, you're so nice. Like you're not from here, are you?" And I'm like, "Wow, damn, that's the indication." But yeah, I feel like it was a bit of an adjustment. But I feel like when I went to New York, I like fit right in there. So yeah, nothing to say about New York.
What is the best piece of advice you give anybody, particularly somebody around your age range who've risen up the ranks pretty young? What's the best piece of advice you give anybody that's hoping to break into show business and have success?
My best piece of advice was to stay connected to your truth. You know, I feel like that's. I feel like if you keep that in mind, that's when you really become prosperous. If you stay connected to your truth at all times, as an artist, that's what makes you an artist, to tell your truth. So that's my best piece of advice in any sort of compromising position that you may be put in. Be my best piece of advice to any artist out there.
It might sound cheesy, but for real, always believe in yourself. Like, always know who you are in your head and like who you're going to be, what your goal is. Because I feel like, you're not always going to have people to cheer you on, so you need to be your biggest cheerleader. Because if you don't have that foundation of believing in yourself, then other people aren't going to believe in you as well. So I would always say, believe in yourself. Yeah, stay true to yourself, and get your content like out there, because it's extremely important, and we want to see it, and we need different voices right now. So that's the advice that I would give.
Awesome. Well, Akiel, Robyn, I sincerely thank you guys for your time. I know you got a lot going on with the show just dropping, the press tour and everything else, but thank you all so much. I've really enjoyed the show. Wish you the very best. I hope that I'll expect the news of season 2 very shortly. Until then, hope everything goes well, and have a great year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.